Hello friends, welcome to this video. In this video I'm sharing my screen. As you can see, this is the SEC Daily Journal Corporation DJCO on Nasdaq and 4th of Jan and 29th of Jan. This is none other than Mr. Charlie Munger, the greatest value investors. So if I see his SEC filings, which is publicly available, thanks for SEC, so we can learn from them. I'm very surprised. As you see, in last to last quarter, he has Alibaba, where it stands. He has 302,000 shares, right? He bought it, and under his portfolio now recently he double his shares, right, to 602, or almost double his shares, right, 602,064, and which surprises me, right? So why he's buying? So then I, honestly speaking, in this I'm trying to see, I look over my notes and books on different views. For sure he's the value investors. We know he buy the deep value stocks, margin of safety, that so on, we all know. But some things I think which if I'm also, I like him and I'm also a value investor, but this is like really very strong on his stand, right? Because the market, so much negativity, but the fundamentals remain the same. So I just want to, so I I go over my notes on these books, like that and this one, and I'm just not like showing off, but then I just want to show that and this one. But really, at the last, I find something very interesting under this book, right? Charlie Munger, The Complete Investors, where I would like to share. But before I do that, I'll share something more on the screen, right? If he's not like a value investors which he holds for like a 1 or 2 years, 3 years or 4 years. He is the kind of investors that, if I'll show his portfolio, if you go to the Rise Analytics and then search for Charlie, I'm not updating this sites much, but as you can see on the last history, only 4 stocks, very few stocks. This is from 2016, and each quarter, and recently 4 5 stocks, right? And on the latest, he has Bank of America on this is on the last year, but I'm showing the latest in two. So where he bought the last year in around first quarter, right? The Alibaba, Wells Fargo's, he has US and Bosco's, right? So where he bought Baba around $226 per share, and that was his shares, right? And then he keep increasing the value. So he just make few bets. So this is his latest share. So he make only few bets, and really he's a very great and smart investor, right? We know and read a lot about Mr. Buffett, right? And a lot of books on him, but there are only few books on him. But he's really good. Whoever following the doing the value investments. So in one of the so in he's, and we heard a lot, that's the commonality between him and Mr. Buffett as well, that he has like a three baskets. So if one is in, one is out, and one is too tough, right? So we have to have a special insight, or we will put it in the too tough basket. So that's what they're saying, right? So basically he only do investment where he knows, and what he treat not as a trading, not as a business or an investor, but that's the ownership mentality. And I really like to thank here Mr. Pabrai and Manish Pabrai. He's also a big value investor and follower of Mr. Charlie Munger. You can see his videos if you're not a lot of YouTube. The last year he shared Nick Sleep, right, letters, which was quite viral, and then it was also on Financial Times. So one of the videos when I refer there, I find that Nick Sleep is also like a true great investor, right? So his philosophy is not like as an investment, but as a ownership. So that's a totally different level. So where you don't buy the company as an investor, you buy as the owner. So what does it mean? This mean you really hold that that company for very long time, right? So even a long time, just like owner, doesn't matter if the company goes, I'm not referring here as stock, right? Because owner thing as a company, even if the company value goes up or down, so they keep holding that. So I believe, and they truly believe in their company. So that's what it's reflect in Mr. Munger action, right? So when the price of the stock goes very down, like almost 50% down, he goes there and 100 something, and he bought that stock and truckload of stocks, which requires even if you know it goes down, but require a really a big courage and true belief that he has a true sense of the market. He truly true understand the business, and when the opportunity come, it's not like it's he just say, he shows by his action. So I really admire from him, and showing us the way that's what he's doing. So the two points I would also like, 2 3 points I also like to mention. For sure he does for the long term, but that's from his book lady. One few more points, like a in the point what he made here is simple pain avoiding psychological denial, right? So what does it means? So so Mr. Munger is saying there that people hate to hear bad news or anything inconsistent with their existing opinion and conclusion. For this reason, something is potentially painful, the human brain is trying to deny the reality. So that's what we are trying, that's what is happening in the market, right? There is no problem in this individually, maybe as a fundamentals perspective, right? We know the stock is cheap, we know it's a very big ecosystems, right? And I covered this talk last year, right? If you go to my YouTube channel, that's Alibaba, where I have covered, even from the last year I covered some news, but and then why the price drop in the Baba's ecosystem, the EPS expectations, the ratio, income statement, margin, and then I use couple of model and try to see what its fair value, right? So that was usually my pattern. So this is using the 2020 annual report. I don't want to go. We can even go to their investor website, and you see their annual report. The last year is almost 600 pages, right? But their main business, is I think their fundamental is strong, right? So it's too deep. I don't want to go there. Like their cloud business is pretty good, and they have the recently the mall, right? T mall and the T bar, right? I think that's how they get pronounced, if I'm not mistaken, right? So they're quite innovative. They're doing well for sure. Uh, if I yeah, on the internet services, right? So so that's quite good. Like while like yeah, the Taobao Tmall marketplace, right? As the Alibaba core cash flow drivers, right? And their Alibaba and globalization for the long term potentials. Alibaba is still remain investment mode in the near term, right? And the company believe they are accelerating revenue per user, suggest a migration to value added content delivery and database service that can drive segmentations higher over time, right? So for sure their moat is wide, right? The moat is wide as well, because think Alibaba is not just providing the on the retail side, right? On the online retails, that is more like an ecosystem. That's what even we see, right? So Taobao marketplace, China's like a largest online consumer to consumer shopping site, Tmall, China's third largest business to consumer platform for the branded goods, right? the Alibaba China's retail marketplace, which is Taobao and Tmall, generated a gross merchandise volume of 6.1 trillion, or USD 1 trillion, in the year ended, right, the last year. So that's amazing, right? So that's amazing, more than Amazon and eBay combined, right? So if you think from that perspective, right, in 1 year, by combining the gross sales of Amazon and eBay is nearly 500 billion, but they're already doing 1 trillion US dollars, right? So that's phenomenal and amazing. We do notice that some risk is there, especially like from the newer uh, like JD.com and Pindalu, right? So providing the good completeness, and 10 cents as well in terms of the short videos, right? So there is there, but there is there, and that's always there. But good thing is that it's still, the stock is cheap, and I don't want to go into too deep into the stock valuation or risk profile or the modes. I did something in the past, which you're free to watch. If you want, I can put a link in the description of that, of this video, right, of this video. But one more point I would like to make here is that the contrast reaction tendency, right? By if you unable to get better than other deal anyway, right? So the idea of Mr. Munger is that when he go and buy something, this means he's scanning the whole universe based on, he's going too deep and wide as well, that he's not finding any other opportunity. So that's so example what he's saying. So that's what it's reflecting in his action. Like, so he also mentioned that we should not buy an investment because it is better than X. He doesn't like relative analysis, and most of the time, person like me, actually, I also do some relative analysis, right? But he said we should buy if we could not buy anything better elsewhere. So with that in mind, and the thoughts, I would really like to know what you think from that perspective. I think from what think is that from the short term or even a near term, this is maybe each individual might, based on his risk profile, has his different investment. But certainly for very long term investor who can hold for like a 10 years or maybe longer, like Mr. Like Nick Sleep, who did in the past, and Mr. Munger, right? So these kind of investments like Baba certainly can pay off, because for sure it's right now, it's the stock is at very good discount. Let me know what your opinion. Are you also planning to buy, or are you thinking you want to stay away? Just and share your opinion so we can learn from each other. So thanks for watching, and see you hopefully in the next video. Bye for now.